Hi, I'm Darren Weston and I'm here to show you how easy it is to create great looking e-learning videos. E-learning videos are a great way of presenting material without having to be physically located with your audience. They offer the user the flexibility to watch the video at their leisure and to re-review sections as they wish. There's an array of software on the market which enables screen capturing. So when performing software demonstrations, you're able to capture the actual demonstration live and render this to a video. And whilst it's acknowledged that these tools are fantastic, it shouldn't be overlooked that it's actually possible to create effective e-learning material using software that's readily available to most users. An effective e-learning video can actually be created simply using Microsoft PowerPoint, Windows Sound Recorder and Windows Movie Maker. There are 5 basic steps to creating an e-learning video. The first step is to create a slide presentation. The second step is to save this slide presentation as individual image files. The third step is to record the narration. The fourth step is to import the image files from the slides and the audio files into Windows Movie Maker. And the final step is to render this to a video file. So now I'm going to take you through these 5 steps in a little more detail and perhaps give some tips and hints on the ways you need to approach these 5 steps. So the first step is to create the slide presentation. And you simply create a slide presentation as you would for a conference, training session or any internal company presentation. The only caveat is that you must avoid using any custom animation. The slides will eventually be converted into static graphic files. Software demonstrations can be captured using basic screen capturing software. Within Windows you can use the print screen functionality, and within Paint you're able to edit those print screens, but there is software available on the market which enables even more enhanced screen capture. So to save the slides as individual image files, within PowerPoint you select File, Save As, and then on the Save As type box you select JPEG. You are then presented with a box which asks you whether you want to export every slide in the presentation or only the current slide, and obviously here we want you to select every slide. Then within Windows Explorer, if you go to the folder where the presentation was originally stored, you'll find a folder, and within that folder there will be a file per slide created. Now that we have our presentation stored as individual graphics files, the next step is to record the narration for these slides. Other recording software can of course be used, but Windows Sound Recorder is free and works absolutely fine for the purposes of slide narration. You can find Windows Sound Recorder under Start, Programs, Accessories, Entertainment, and under there you can find Sound Recorder. Obviously, to use Sound Recorder you need to have a microphone attached to your laptop or PC, and once you have Sound Recorder open and you have a microphone attached, you simply click the red record button and start talking. You can review your recording by clicking the back button and then clicking play, and if you're unhappy with the recording then you can click back and then click record to try again. There are many other features within Sound Recorder. For example, you can adjust the volume. If you make mistakes when recording the audio, you can press the stop, and then under Edit there are options such as delete after the current position or delete before the current position. So there are a variety of options to actually edit the audio that you've created, but overall I think you'll find that it's fairly straightforward. For the purposes of rendering the video later on, it makes much more sense to save your narration per slide. So once you've completed the narration for a given slide, you can save this by clicking File, Save As. When you are presented with the Save As box, there is a button Change at the very bottom, and this really is changing the format of the audio file. And the best approach that we suggest here is to select Format MPEG Layer 3, which is MP3, which most of you will be aware of. Then you click OK and then Save. And the nomenclature to use with your audio files, which makes most sense, is slide 01, slide 02, etc. so that later on when we render the video it's much easier to align the audio file to the slide of which it corresponds. So now we have our PowerPoint presentation saved as individual graphics files. We have our narration saved with a audio file per slide. So now the next step is to integrate the graphics files and the audio files together and render these as a video. And we can do this using Windows Movie Maker. And you can find Windows Movie Maker under Start, Programs, Accessories, and there you'll find Windows Movie Maker. So the first step is to import the slide images, and you do this clicking Import Pictures. This opens up a dialog box and you navigate to the folder where your images are stored, and you select all of the relevant images and click Import. Once your image files have been imported, you then drag the image files down to the storyboard at the very bottom of Windows Movie Maker, and you obviously do this in order of the slide presentation. The PowerPoint export actually names the files slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, etc. So if you highlight all of the files and drag them down to the timeline, it should actually import the slides in the correct order. Now that we've imported our pictures and we've moved them to the storyboard at the bottom of Windows Movie Maker, and we've aligned them in the correct order in which we wish them to be presented, the next step is to import the audio files, and we do this clicking Import Audio or Music. And as with the pictures, a dialog box appears. We navigate to the folder where the audio files are stored, and we select the relevant audio files and click Import. And again, as we did with the pictures, we drag the relevant audio files to the matching slide down on the bottom of the storyboard. Once we do that, we then have to extend the length that the individual graphics file is presented in the video to match the length of the audio file, and you do this by clicking on the right hand side of the slide and dragging that to match the length of the audio slide, and you do this for each slide. So now we've imported our pictures, we've imported our audio, and we've aligned the audio to the relevant slide, and we've extended the length of the slide so that it matches the length of the audio for each of the slides. The next stage is to render the movie to an actual video file, and we do this under section 3 Finish Movie, and we click Save to My Computer. When we do that, a dialog box appears and we enter the name for the video file and the location where we wish it to be saved, and then we click Next. The next dialog box offers you some options regarding the quality of the video file. There are lots of options of which you can choose under the Show More options, but the best quality for playback on my computer, which is the recommended setting, works just fine, and so therefore you just click Next. So now the video file has been rendered. If you go to the directory where you chose for the video file to be saved, you'll find a video file there with a .wmv extension, and we've completed the process. You can obviously double click this file and watch this within Windows Movie Player or any other media player of your choice and review the video. Okay, so we've completed the process. So I hope at the end of this process you've realized that creating e-learning videos is not difficult and certainly doesn't require specialist training. All the demonstrations I've done have been on an XP machine, and obviously with Windows Vista or Windows 7 there may be some slightly different options, but I think the spirit of the video would remain the same. So just to go over the main steps, the first step is you create a slide presentation. Second step is we need to save these slides as image files. Then the third step is that we obviously record the narration. Then the fourth step is we import the slides and the audio file to Windows Movie Maker, and we then render this to a video. So I now hope, having seen the simplicity of the process, you feel inspired to look at some of your presentations and slide decks that you have and look to perhaps convert some of those into videos and share them with others. Okay, thanks and goodbye.